Okay.
Because he implemented some.
You're making it simple.
That it has been
And
done
teaching
by
it at his
someone,
level.
then
Okay.
So that people can
People-
relate.
Okay.
Relate.
People can relate. Now understand, there are three very closely related things. One is an instance, one is an example, and one is an analogy. They are all very closely related, very often confused. Instance, example, and analogy. Right? An instance is like what you said, somewhere where it has been done. Or suppose we are talking about rooftop, so we have rooftop here and we have rooftop there. So those are instances. Examples are when is a practical application of a thing, right? So when you say that electricity generates heat, right? So the example is that when the bulb it gets warm. That's an example. Okay. What is the analogy?
Comparing the DC with your water tank.
Sorry?
Comparing the DC electricity with your water tank.
With your water. So you are comparing something with another thing, with a day-to-day thing, right? Like if you remember when we were talking about learning styles, I gave you that analogy of tea or coffee. What do you prefer? So that was something that is very common in your day-to-day to illustrate or to explain something, a new concept which is new to you. Okay. So the advantage of doing that, giving an analogy, and when I'm saying provide examples, I mean all these three things: examples, instances, and analogies. The advantage of giving analogies is that you are taking them from the known to the unknown. You are taking them to the known, to the unknown with the help of the known. So learning styles was the unknown. I am taking you there with the help of the known, which is tea and coffee. Right? That is why giving examples are important. Make procedural suggestions. What do you understand by this?
Algorithms.
Sorry?
Algorithms.
Algorithms? Okay. You were talking about something a little while back when I said it is something different. We'll talk about it when it comes. What were you saying?
systematic analysis.
When I said that let's talk about instructional, this is procedural, we will talk about it. What was that example? You remember? Okay. You were talking about changing of the seating or making the groups.
Yeah.
Right? That I didn't tell you that make these groups.
Correct.
I allowed you to make your own groups.
Yes.
Right? So that is a procedural suggestion. I told you the procedure that one person who is giving a presentation, one person who is not giving a presentation. And so that was the suggestion. And I gave you the leeway to choose your own groups. That's a procedural suggestion. What is the advantage of this, or why is this being done? Instead of dictating terms?
So the comfort level is enhanced.
You remember the first slide, adult learners?
Yeah.
What was given in red? Need for respect.
Yeah.
Right? So this is one way of respecting the participants, that they are adults,
You can take
they have that liberty, they want to choose where they want to. So this is giving them as much leeway as possible. Right? Any questions about any of these points? Asking and answering questions. Like I said, this is one of the very important techniques to generate discussion. It is your Ramban, or what is that called? Guru Mantra. Right? If you are good in question and answer technique, it's very easy for you to have an interactive session. So some tips: be clear and concise. What do you mean by this?
Deep knowledge.
Okay.
to that particular point, to be precise,
Okay.
and and it should be very clearly understood by the opposite person. That's the clarity part. So concise is to that particular point, and
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Intent of the question should be clear.
Intent of the question or what the questioner is asking should be clear. For example, if I ask you a question, what is problem? Tell me. Answer. What is problem? Should not be a vague question.
Related to some.
Okay. So if I ask you a question, what is problem? What would you answer? What would you answer?
Which has a solution.
Something which has a solution. Okay. What would you answer?
Depends. Like, probably counter question.
Yeah.
Problem in what situation
Okay.
or what.
Okay. So someone might answer, it's a mathematical problem. It's a mathematical sum. You know, have you done your problems? Say. But if I ask you, what is the definition of a problem?
Set of difficulties.
Sorry?
Set of
So see the difference between the two questions. What is problem and what is the definition of problem? Question is the same, but you have made it clear and concise. So when you are asking the question itself should not be so long.
Short and sweet.
It should be short and concise.
To the point.
To the point. What is it that you are asking? That should be clear. It should be unambiguous. Right? So you should frame your question carefully. Pause to give participants time to think, like what we were talking. Don't immediately answer your question yourself. Ask a question, keep quiet. It's difficult to do. You'll have to practice this. Once you ask a question, count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you normally don't wait this long, remember, but you should. Because, see, it takes time for your participants to process, understand the question, think of the answer, and then come up. Often what happens is, before that, you yourself have jumped, or you've told someone, okay, you answer. Now, if he was already thinking of the answer, you've said you answer, you don't know the answer, he will also not answer, he will also, he will feel embarrassed. I have been asked, I don't know the answer. So, give them time, someone will come out with the answer. They may come out with the wrong answer, but someone will come out with the right answer. Is it better for a participant to come out with the wrong answer, or is it better for no one to answer? Wrong answer. Everyone agrees?
Always better.
So this 10-second rule. And if after 10 seconds also no one answers, rephrase the question. Like if I had asked what is the problem, I will say what is the definition of a problem. I'll have to think what is wrong with the question, how can I make it clearer? Or I may want to give some hints. Okay, you remember about that? So you lead them on to the answer by giving certain hints.
You are giving me.
Even after rephrasing, somebody don't answer.
Yeah, so then you give hints. Yeah. Lead them on to, instead of giving, ideally, of course, if ultimately there is no answer, then you have to give the answer. But try as hard as you can to get it out. Even if it is the wrong answer.
How many times?
They can't define that.
But
But at least get a wrong answer. At least get a wrong answer. You tell them, okay, never mind, try. So what if it is wrong?
sometimes we give clue also.
Yeah, clue, hint, that's what it is. Okay. Now use closed and open questions to manage the discussion. What do you understand by closed questions? Which has specific answers, either yes or no, a specific number, what is your age, what is your date of birth, these are all, they have one specific answer. And what is an open question?
For discussion.
Which doesn't have one definite answer, right? So can you give some examples of open questions?
What do you feel about
What do you feel about
this?
this? What is success? It's an open question, right? So what do you mean by saying use closed and open questions to manage discussion?
Balance out when you're questioning.
Okay.
Combination.
As a rule, which of these questions will generate more discussion? Open question. Closed question will not have any discussion. It has just one answer, yes or no. So therefore, if you want to generate discussion, open questions are better, right? So what do you mean by use closed and open questions to manage
No,
this?
but sometimes closed questions are also necessary,
Right.
depending on the text that we are taking.
Right. So can you give an
There's
example?
a specific value, like
Yeah.
discussing, like what is the density of that one, so
Right.
somebody can
Right.
say that.
Right.
Technical may have
Absolutely.
the closed question.
Absolutely. So we need closed questions when we need specifics.
One should distinguish.
Distinguish. Also, we also use this to manage discussions in the sense when you are running out of time, when you want to close that discussion, then you use closed question. Okay. Ask individuals by name if appropriate. What do you mean by this?
And
You
blue
should
shirt,
know.
white shirt,
No,
not
you should
Person
know
in
your
the blue shirt or
participants. You should know your participants by name, and you should address it directly to that person whom you want to address by name. That's one way. Is it that right?
Okay. What you're saying is right,
Yeah.
and that is very important for making a socially comfortable
Personal.
learning environment. Absolutely. But this has another connotation also.
Asking the question to
An individual.
No.
An individual. So, if I've asked a question and no one has answered, should I ask someone by name? Yes or no?
No.
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 Everyone agrees no? Why?
might get conscious or he might not know the answer.
Absolutely. See, the point is that maybe the people don't know the answer, therefore they are not answering. And again, it comes back to that adult's need for respect.
Yeah.
You know, they may feel that I am being singled out, or I am being made, sorry, why me, or I am, I am getting embarrassed. So, when we say ask an individual by name if appropriate, what do we mean by if appropriate? When should you ask by name?
There is an expert in the team.
Good, excellent. That is one instance. So, no one has answered. You say, okay, so and so, you are an expert, you have so much of experience. Would you like to contribute? So, that is one. What other instance?
Maybe by body language you can see that somebody is trying
On-
to answer but couldn't answer because they're
Feeling
feeling
shy.
feeling shy.
Absolutely. What else?
Kind of encouragement. Like, indirectly you can, maybe you can try that,
Right.
try that answer.
Okay. Excellent. What else? When the question does not have a right or wrong answer, when you are asking for opinion, what do you think about it? That doesn't have any right or wrong answer, right?
That's it.
So there is no chance of that person feeling singled out, or in fact, they may feel better that I am being asked for my opinion. So in that case, it is appropriate to ask by name. Otherwise, not. Sorry? Yes, sir. Would you like to throw some light?